about products, we're talking about moving kids.
Big decision reached for some Newport News middle school students. Tonight, hundreds of students learn they'll be heading to high school just a little bit early. That is our top story this Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Allen. Regina is off. The vote was nearly unanimous. Students at Huntington Middle School will get their own wing at Heritage High School. Incoming students will be split up between Crittenden and Hines Middle Schools. 13 News Now reporter Chanu Hur was at that meeting tonight.
Well, that's right. There's just so much work that needs to go into Huntington Middle School to make it safe for teachers and students. Everything from a new HVAC system to other immediate renovations. Some came out to tell the school board to keep the students there while they worked on a new building. But one teacher who came to the meeting said absolutely not. And most school board members agreed with her. Stepping into the Newport News School Board meeting Tuesday, Foxy Ramos didn't know what to expect.
I mean, that school has so much history.
She just knows going into 8th grade next year, she wants to walk back into Huntington Middle School.
The teachers, they not only teach you regular skills such as math, English, and science, they also teach you life skills.
Little did she know,
We're not talking about products, we're talking about moving kids.
she'd be sitting in front of a school board debate over the future of the school. Like Foxy, many felt a tie to the school.
Huntington was a legacy and an institution for black students in that area.
Huntington Middle School is very important to me as a member of the Newport News East End community.
So they were torn as the board prepared to vote on the future of the school. Board member Marvin Harris wanted to postpone the vote until he knew what the city's budget was.
Let's speak truth to what truth is. Once those kids leave, we're not going to get this funding, Jeff. We're not going to get it.
His proposal was struck down 6-1, and the rest of the board voted in favor of relocating students next fall. 7th and 8th graders will be moved to their own wing at Heritage High School, 6th graders to Hines and Crittenden Middle Schools.
We must think about the safety and security and the well-being of our children.
I think it is understandable because of the safety issues going on there, but I feel like they could have thought about it a lot more than they talked about it.
Foxy admits moving isn't what she wanted, but in the long run, she hopes the decision to relocate is for the best. Now, the school board has been allocated nearly $3 million in 2019 to be used towards beginning the design process for a new building. A final recommendation is expected to be made by March 1st, 2019. Chanu Hur, 13 News Now.
Also new tonight, deputies in Chesterfield are mourning after 2 of their own were killed in a crash in Isle of Wight. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday. Since then, we've learned brothers John and Earl Mallory died after a farm truck crashed head-on into their car. Both worked for the Chesterfield Sheriff's Office. While the shock is still setting in, many co-workers are remembering the good times with the 2 of those men.
Every one of those is a life you've touched. And I know with either one of them, both of them, it was in a positive manner.
Funeral arrangements are still pending. Developing in Virginia Beach tonight, officers say they were after a burglary suspect. But instead of finding a suspect, a man says a police dog bit his 13-year-old neighbor. This played out Sunday night in Claiborne Place. And we want to warn you, the photos of the boy's bite marks are rather disturbing. Virginia Beach police say they mistook the 13-year-old as a suspect in a burglary just a block away. Police say the boy was ordered to stop. Instead, he took off running. That's when they decided to release the canine. A neighbor tells us the attack lasted about 45 minutes. That neighbor says when the officer realized he had the wrong person, he called EMS, then vanished.
By the time the dad came over to grab his son and pick his son up out of my arms, like there was no dog there, there was no police officer, no nothing. They were just gone.
Family's attorney tells us they are looking into the matter as police begin their own investigation. That burglary suspect still out there on the run tonight. Add Virginia Beach Mayor Will Sessoms to the list of people allegedly threatened by this man, Wallace Godwin. 13 News Now was there today as Godwin went before a federal judge. The 69-year-old is accused of threatening to kill and shoot Congressman Scott Taylor. The judge sided with prosecutors who wanted to keep him behind bars. As for Mayor Sessoms, a city official tells us he asked Beach Police to take a report, and we're told the mayor will not be pressing charges. The Virginia Tech women's lacrosse team is saying sorry after this video surfaces. Now, under those beeps, several instances of the N-word. The Roanoke Times reports the team was in a 13-second video singing to a song with repeated use of derogatory language. Coach John Sung issued an apology after calling it a teachable moment. No word yet on any disciplinary action those players might face. It's the end of the workday at the Virginia International Gateway. As we look live right there tonight, some cargo truck drivers walked off the job in protest today. They say they're losing money over long wait times at the port, and they're not being compensated for it.
Park that truck! Park that truck!
13 News Now was there as some drivers sounded off. They tell us they can't wait anywhere from 2 to 4 hours per trip. The port says it should take drivers about 45 minutes. Part of the issue here, drivers say, not enough chassis to carry containers. The problems are cutting into the drive time and cutting into the drivers' wallets.
If I had made 3 trips in and out, that's $75 each way. Sitting here all day for one box cuts out all the other trips.
We reached out to the port. They tell us 800 new chassis are on order. New staff are being brought in, too. The port also implemented truck reservation times at Norfolk International Terminal. That will be rolled out to Virginia International Gateway by the summer. We learned more today about that Navy jet crash that claimed the lives of 2 Oceana-based aviators. A new report reveals the twin-engine FA-18F Super Hornet was flying on only one engine at the time of the crash. That comes from the Naval Safety Center. It's unclear why the jet was only using one engine. The crash happened nearly 2 weeks ago near Key West, Florida. No official word yet on what went wrong. Lieutenant Commander James Johnson and Lieutenant Caleb King of VFA 213 were killed. Oceana will hold a private memorial service for the men on Friday. New tonight, a soldier based at Fort Bragg in North Carolina disappears without a trace. Sergeant Carl Seaman was last heard from on Saturday. His car and phone were later found in the parking lot of a Walmart in Fayetteville. The 25-year-old paratrooper's family is convinced Seaman didn't go AWOL. They're heartbroken and hoping the public can help them find their loved one.
I mean, he's done his part for this country, and now I guess we're asking the country for their help to find him.
His grandfather says Seaman came home the week of Christmas. He last spoke with him Thursday when Seaman told family members he was gearing up to head to Louisiana with his unit to train. It's been 15 years since the U.S. engaged in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The current operation against ISIS started in 2014. Today, a top U.S. general called the air war wildly successful. The Pentagon says about 450 coalition forces are training the Iraqi Air Force. By the middle of the summer, more than 2,000 Iraqi pilots will be fully qualified to lead their own F-16 combat squadron. The idea here is to get the Iraqi military to stand up so coalition military forces may someday stand down.
The formation of this training effort is a crucial step as we continue to assist the Iraqis in consolidating their gains after years of tough combat.
The effort is being called the Iraqi Aviation Enterprise.